Hey everyone, happy Monday, September 14th. It is also National Cream Filled Donut Day, so hopefully you get a chance to enjoy that. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So, in the last lesson, you learned about the different types of tools that geographers used, and you got to see specifically the different types of maps. And you have political maps, physical maps, and thematic maps. And where you know that we have these types of maps, you're going to have to know how to read them because it's very important, both in geography class and your social studies classes, that you are able to read different types of maps that you're given. So today you're going to get to learn exactly how to read a map. So the very first thing you need to know are the different parts of a map because you kind of got to know what things are when you look at it. So that way when you have a map, you know what you're looking at. So the first part of a map that you're going to learn about is the title. And the title of a map is a lot like the title of a book. It gives us the very first clue as to the content of the map and lets us know what the map's about. If there's a date in the title, it lets us know the focus of the map. So if it says 1805, then you know that the map is showing the area in 1805, not 2020. So sometimes it's really important to know those differences. But again, the title is the very first thing you're going to look for to know what the map is about. So when we look at this map here, in our example, it's the states and union territories map of India. So even without looking at the map, you know that the map is going to show us states and union territories in India. And this is a political map. It's showing us the different political boundaries, but we get all of that from the title. So the next thing that you need to know that is a part of a map is a compass rose. And hopefully we've seen a compass rose before, but this is going to show us the directions of the map. And it's going to show us the main cardinal directions. So this is north, south, east, and west. And then you have your enter directions, so northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest. But again, hopefully we've seen this before, but when you look at a compass, north is at the top, east, south, west. So hopefully this looks familiar, but again, north is at the top, then we have south at the bottom, east to the right, west to the left. And it's important to know that when you look at a compass rose on a map, it is not saying that the top of the map is north. It is showing us what direction of the area points true north, so looking at the North Pole. So this area here for this map, this is how it would be in relation to where north is. And it's the same with the GPS. When you pull up a GPS or use a digital map to find your exact location, north isn't always just going to be pointing straight up. It's going to be showing where exactly true north is. The next part of a map is a legend. And the legend is also known as the key. They mean the same thing, but they show us what the different symbols and things on a map stand for. It helps us identify what these different symbols are. So it lets us know what the colors and shapes are used for, and that way we don't know, or we don't look at it and be like, why is there a green squiggly line? We would look at it and know, oh, the green squiggly line means an interstate. Or if you're looking at the Kentucky Bluegrass State map, and you look at the key, you know that the star is the state capital. So you would check because we live in the state capital and they're correct. Frankfort is the capital. Just a little tip, if there is a star on a map, that typically represents a capital, whether it's for a state or a country. So if you see a star, that's the capital. The dots are just going to be the different cities. So then you have the map scale, and the map scale helps us know about exactly what the distance is from point A to point B. So the thing is, when you look at a map, you know that the piece of paper map that you are holding or looking at on the computer is not the exact size and distance that it is in real life. Otherwise, that map would be huge. So this scale helps us know what the real distance is from these different places where they've been shrunken down so we can hold a map. So when we look at this map, this point to this point looks to be about an inch from each other. However, we know in real life that's not really an inch apart. So we would use the scale to know that, oh, this is a little under or about 15 miles. And you're going to see the scale, it'll say kilometers and miles because those are the two main measurements that people around the world use to measure distance. So it's not an inch, it's about 15 miles. And when you use a scale and you're using them in real life, you typically can take another piece of paper and draw the distance from the different points on your map and then compare it to the scale to see what the distance would be. It's a little harder to do that when you're using digital screens. However, you can still kind of do the same. You can hold up a piece of paper to the computer. You can use your fingers to measure distance. You can use a pencil, whatever you need to, kind of maybe just eyeball it if you need to, but it's about the same concept. So you would hold something up to see the distance between Austin and Houston, and then you would use that same measurement down here on the scale, and you would see that it's about 200 miles. And again, we're going to say about because we're estimating. It's not going to be a full 200 miles exactly, but it's going to be in that range. Another part of the map to know about is the grid. And the grid is used to help organize the different places on a map. A cartographer uses this to help them know where the locations are and also to help the map reader know where the locations are. And these different lines are used to divide up spaces. They help them locate the different places, and the lines and everything are imaginary. You're not going to walk across the state of Texas and bump into these blue lines. But some of these lines are known as lines of longitude and latitude. You'll learn about those later. But otherwise, the grid is divided up in different ways depending on who makes the grid. So when you use a grid, it's a lot like playing a game of Battleship. So if you've ever played Battleship, then you should be familiar with using a grid. And for a grid with numbers and letters, you're going to always read the letter first and then the number. So for this one, the letter is going across the bottom and the numbers go up the side. So if you're looking for the florist, you're going to be like, oh, the florist is in B1. And then sometimes the grid, the letters and numbers are going to be flipped, and that's perfectly okay. But you're still going to write the location, which is known as the coordinate, with the letter first and then the number. So for example, the lions are in C3. So even though these are flipped, it is still using the letter first and then the number. So it's a really important thing to know about grids. Grids are used for smaller scale areas. So this example is with the Lincoln Park Zoo. This example is a made up city. This example is with the state of Texas. Grids with letters and numbers are often for small scale areas. They are not for the whole world or for using to find absolute location. So where something is specifically, it is specific to that map and that grid alone. When you are wanting to find absolute location, so where something actually is in the world, we're going to use longitude and latitude and using coordinates for that. And we're going to learn about that in the next lesson, but I just wanted to give you a preview and just let you know that it's important that grids are specific to that map alone and not in real life. So you can't say, oh, the lines are in B3, and you can pull up your GPS and know where that is. It is specific to this Lincoln Park Zoo. Okay. So the next steps for today's work, because you just finished the mini lesson, you can rewatch the map feature songs on YouTube for a fun way to see the map features again. You can look back through the slides for extra help. And then you have a map practice assignment that is your exit ticket. And this will be needed to complete so you can kind of get an idea of how to read maps, knowing where the different points are, and then have a little bit of practice before your big assignment, which will be coming up here soon. So if you all have any questions, please remember, contact me and I will try to help as best as possible. But have a great day, everyone. Bye.